My friend, let me tell you something powerful today. Success doesn't begin when you arrive. It begins when you believe. The difference between winners and losers is not strength. It's not talent. It's mindset. A winner thinks differently. They carry themselves differently. They walk into every room as if they already own the outcome. When you act like you've already won, your energy shifts, your confidence rises, and people begin to treat you according to the picture you paint of yourself. You don't wait for victory to show up. You bring victory with you. So today, I'm going to give you 4 principles that will transform the way you see yourself and your future. Let me take that first key point, victory begins in the mind, and expand it into a powerful 800-word motivational flow in the style of Dr. Myles Munroe. It will be filled with dialogue, style statements, daily life examples, and inspiring language. No headings and no closing sentence, just pure delivery. My friend, hear me clearly today. The greatest war you will ever fight is not with your neighbor, not with your boss, not even with your environment. The greatest war is in your own mind. If your thoughts tell you that you are weak, you will walk like a weak person. If your thoughts whisper that you are defeated, you will carry the posture of defeat everywhere you go. But if your mind begins to say, I am a conqueror, I am unstoppable, I am destined to win, then your actions, your words, your very energy will begin to align with that declaration. Think about it when an athlete steps into the arena. Long before the whistle blows, the game is already taking shape in their mind. The one who enters believing, I am going to lose, has already surrendered before the first strike. But the one who enters with the conviction, this is mine, I've prepared, I've already won in my head, carries an invisible advantage that cannot be measured by statistics. Have you noticed how 2 people with the same resources can produce 2 very different results? One person will say, this is too hard, I can't do it, and they collapse under the weight of their own thoughts. Another will look at the same challenge and say, this is difficult, but I was born for this, and somehow their mind opens up, creativity flows, and strength appears from nowhere. The difference is not the situation, it's the mind. Every invention you see around you, every skyscraper, every airplane, every smartphone, it all existed in the mind of someone before it existed in reality. Victory always begins inside before it manifests outside. A poor person who thinks rich will eventually begin to attract the ideas, opportunities, and people that can change their financial story. But a rich person who thinks poor will squander everything they have and return to poverty. Look at your own life. How many times have you talked yourself out of success because your mind convinced you that you weren't ready? You had the skills, you had the opportunity, but your mind whispered, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not qualified. And so you pulled back and life gave you exactly what you believed. Nothing. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine waking up in the morning and instead of dragging yourself out of bed saying, I hope today works out, you declare, this is the day I win. Today is already mine. I don't wait for the world to confirm me. I confirm myself. Do you know what happens? Your energy shifts. You carry yourself differently. People notice the confidence in your eyes, the strength in your voice, the certainty in your walk. They treat you according to the victory you project. Let me give you an example. 2 people walk into an interview room. Both are equally qualified. Both have good resumes. But one enters timid, nervous, apologizing with their body language, speaking as if they are hoping to be chosen. The other walks in with a steady voice, straight posture, and the quiet conviction that they are the best choice. Who do you think gets the job? 9 times out of 10, the one who had already won in their mind before they walked through the door. You see, the mind is a magnet. It pulls toward you the evidence of whatever you believe most strongly. If you believe in defeat, you will notice every reason why you can't win. But if you believe in victory, suddenly you begin to see solutions where others see problems, opportunities where others see obstacles. This is why so many people stay stuck. They are waiting for evidence before they believe. They say, when I see money, then I will believe I am prosperous. When I get the promotion, then I will believe I am capable. When people applaud me, then I will believe I am valuable. But that is backward thinking. Winners reverse the order. They believe first, and the evidence comes later. They carry prosperity in their mind before the money ever shows up. They carry capability in their mind before the promotion comes. They carry value in their mind before anybody claps for them. Think about a seed. If you plant a seed in the ground, at first you see nothing. If you judge by the evidence, you would say, there is no plant here. But the farmer knows better. He believes in the unseen process. He waters the soil. He protects the seed. He acts as if a harvest is already guaranteed. That mindset is what brings the fruit. In the same way, you must treat your ideas, your dreams, your destiny like a seed. Don't wait for the evidence. Believe in the unseen process, water it with positive thought, protect it with confidence, and act as if the harvest is already on its way. The person who wins in life is not necessarily the most educated, not necessarily the most gifted, not even the one with the most connections. It is the one whose mind refuses to accept defeat as an option. Because once the mind is set on victory, the body will follow, the decisions will follow, and life itself will begin to bend toward that conviction. Do you know why most people never step into greatness? It's not because they lack potential. It's because their mind convinces them to settle for less. The prison of the mind is far stronger than the prison of circumstances. Some people live in mansions but are prisoners of their own negative thinking. Others live in small houses but are free because their mind is full of victory, vision, and expectation. The way you think about yourself determines the way you experience life. If you see yourself as a failure, every setback will confirm it. If you see yourself as a victor, every setback becomes training, every delay becomes preparation, and every obstacle becomes an opportunity to rise higher. My friend, let me tell you something that will shift the way you look at yourself and the way you move through life. People can feel you before they hear you. Long before you open your mouth, your attitude has already spoken. The way you carry yourself, the way you walk into a room, the way your eyes meet another person's gaze, these things announce you louder than your words ever will. That is why your attitude is not just a small detail, it is the atmosphere you carry everywhere you go. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever walked into a room where someone was frustrated or bitter, and without them saying a word, you could feel the heaviness, their energy weighed down the whole place? On the other hand, have you ever met someone who seemed full of life, full of confidence, full of joy, and suddenly you felt lighter just by being around them? That is not luck, that is attitude creating atmosphere. Your presence is either opening doors or closing them before you even knock. Look at daily life. Two people can face the same storm, but one chooses to complain while the other chooses to stay calm and optimistic. The complainer darkens the space around them. Nobody wants to be near them. Nobody wants to invest in them. Nobody wants to trust them with responsibility. But the one who stays calm, who says, yes, this is tough, but I know we will get through it, suddenly becomes a magnet. People want to work with them, doors begin to open, and opportunities flow their way. Why? Because their attitude created an atmosphere where solutions could exist. Winners understand this. They don't let the room dictate how they feel. They bring their own climate to the room. When they step into a meeting, they don't wait for others to show respect. They carry respect within themselves. When they face challenges, they don't wait for the situation to lighten up before they smile. They bring the smile. They bring the composure. They bring the energy that lifts everyone else. That is what separates average people from impactful people. Imagine a person going to a job interview. They have the qualifications, the experience, the right answers. But they walk in slouch with a weak handshake, with eyes that avoid contact, with a voice that trembles. Before they even begin, their atmosphere has already said, now don't imagine another candidate. They walk in upright, firm handshake, steady voice, eyes full of focus, a smile that radiates calm assurance. Their atmosphere says, I am already a part of this team. I am already valuable here. Guess who gets remembered? Guess who gets chosen? It's not always the most skilled. It's the one whose attitude shifted the atmosphere. Your attitude is a choice. It's not controlled by your circumstances. Life may hand you difficulty. People may hand you disappointment, but you still decide whether you walk heavy or walk light, whether you spread negativity or carry hope. Some people say, I can't help it. I'm just in a bad mood. But don't you see? That statement itself is a choice to surrender your atmosphere to your emotions. Winners flip the script. They say, my emotions may not agree, but my attitude will set the tone. Think about a musician tuning their instrument before a concert. The environment may be noisy, people may be chatting, distractions may be everywhere. But the musician doesn't play based on the noise. They tune their instrument to the right frequency. In the same way, you must tune your attitude to the frequency of victory, confidence, and positivity. No matter how loud the noise of negativity is around you, when you start to carry a winning attitude, watch how people respond. Suddenly, conversations shift. Strangers show you respect. Colleagues treat you differently. Even those who doubted you begin to see something they cannot deny. Why? Because atmosphere influences behavior. People will always adjust themselves to the climate you create. Every leader you admire, every person who shifted history, carried an attitude that created an atmosphere. They walked into situations others feared, but their composure brought calm. They faced impossibilities, but their courage created solutions. They carried themselves as if storms were simply stepping stones. And people followed, not just because of their knowledge, but because of the atmosphere they carried. Look at your relationships. If you enter them with suspicion, negativity, and constant complaint, you poison the environment. But if you enter them with trust, kindness, and confidence, you elevate the environment. The energy you bring either builds or breaks the space you occupy. So when you wake up in the morning, don't just think about what clothes you'll wear or what tasks you'll complete. Ask yourself, what atmosphere am I carrying today? Will I walk into my office as a storm cloud or as sunlight? Will I face my challenges as a victim or as a victor? Because the world reacts not to your intentions, but to the climate you bring. If you carry defeat in your attitude, you will see doors close before they even open. But if you carry victory in your attitude, you will see even locked doors begin to unlock. People don't follow weakness, they follow strength. They don't cling to fear, they cling to courage. And courage is not the absence of fear, it's the choice of attitude in the presence of fear. Your attitude is your invisible introduction. It walks into the room before you speak. It shakes hands before you extend your arm. It speaks louder than your RA your bank account, or your connections. And the truth is, life responds to the atmosphere you carry more than the words you say. My friend, listen to me carefully. Faith is not about sitting down and waiting for proof. Faith is about moving forward as if the proof already exists. Faith is action before evidence. Too many people want to see results before they take a step. But the truth is that the step itself is what produces the results. If you wait for life to show you the finish line before you start running, you will never run at all. The runners who win are the ones who begin with conviction, the ones who move with determination, even when the crowd is silent, even when there is no cheer, even when the track looks endless. Think about a builder. If a man wants to build a house, he doesn't wait until he sees the finished home before he begins. He gathers his materials, lays down the foundation, and works every day, even when there is nothing to look at but dirt and dust. Neighbors may laugh, saying, "Where's this house you talk about?" But he keeps building. He digs when nothing shows. He frames when nothing stands. He paints when no one believes. Then one day, the structure rises, and the same people who doubted him now admire what he built. That is faith in action, believing in what is not yet seen and behaving as though it already is. Look at your own life. Maybe you're saying, "I'll start saving money when I finally earn more." That's not faith. That's delay. True faith says, "I will treat this little as if it were much because abundance is on the way." Maybe you say, "I will dress confidently once I have the position." No, faith says, "I will carry myself with dignity now because the position is already mine in my spirit." Or you say, "I'll invest in my idea once others believe in it." No, faith is investing before the applause, starting before the crowd gathers, moving when no one claps, acting like the dream is already a reality. Faith is why some people rise while others stay stuck. Two people can face the same opportunity. One says, "I'll wait until I have more confirmation." The other says, "I believe this is mine, so I'll step out now." The one who stepped out ends up with the blessing, while the other is left with regret, not because they lack talent, but because they lack the courage to act before evidence. Think of a farmer. When he plants seeds in the ground, there is no evidence of fruit. He looks at the soil and sees nothing. If he judged by sight, he would give up, saying, "This field is empty." But he waters the ground, he clears the weeds, he protects the soil. Every action says, "I believe a harvest is coming." That is faith. He doesn't wait for fruit to appear before treating the land like a garden. He treats it as fruitful long before the fruit is visible. That is why he eventually reaps. In the same way, you must act on your dream even while it looks invisible. If you want to start a business, don't wait for millions in the bank. Begin with the little you have. If you want to be a leader, don't wait for a title. Begin by leading yourself, by showing discipline, by practicing excellence. If you want to walk in success, don't wait until people call you successful. Carry yourself as if success already belongs to you. Faith is behaving as if you already have the harvest while your hands are still planting seeds. Look at how children operate. A child will jump into their father's arms without hesitation, not because they see proof that they won't fall, but because they believe. That belief creates boldness. Adults, however, often lose this boldness. They want guarantees before they leap. But life does not reward hesitation. It rewards faith-filled action. Those who wait for certainty never move, but those who act in faith rewrite history. Consider the story of every great entrepreneur, every innovator, every pioneer. They all had moments where nothing made sense, where there was no evidence that their dream would work. People laughed at them, told them it was impossible, reminded them of every risk. But they moved anyway. They invested, they sacrificed, they worked as if the outcome was guaranteed. And because they acted with faith, evidence eventually caught up with their belief. Faith is not reckless. It is intentional action based on conviction. It is seeing beyond the visible, trusting that what you carry inside is more powerful than what you see outside. Faith is why one person with a small vision can inspire a city, while another with many resources can remain invisible. The difference is not what they have, but how they believe. So let me ask you, how are you living your life? Are you waiting to see before you move? Are you waiting for the applause before you act? Are you waiting for the promotion before you work like a leader? If so, you are delaying the very thing you are waiting for. Faith does not wait, it creates. Faith does not beg for evidence, it produces evidence. Every step you take in faith is like signing a contract with your future. Every bold action is a declaration. I believe it exists, and I will live like it until it manifests. Your preparation is a language of faith. Your persistence is proof of faith. Your discipline is the evidence of faith. People may not see what you see, but your actions will eventually reveal it. And by the time the world finally claps, you will know that the real victory was never in their applause. It was in your decision to act when there was no evidence at all. My friend, pay attention to this truth. The language you speak over your life is shaping your destiny every single day. Winners do not speak like everyone else. They don't allow their tongue to become a tool of defeat. They use it as a weapon of victory. Your words are painting a picture of your tomorrow, and whether you know it or not, your life is walking toward the picture you have been speaking. The reason some people never rise is not because they lack potential. It is because every day they keep saying things that chain them down. And the reason others soar beyond expectation is not just because of talent, but because they dared to speak words that lifted them higher than their circumstances. Think about this. Two people can face the same problem, yet the way they speak reveals the outcome they expect. One says, "This is impossible. I'll never get out of this." And they stop trying. They surrender before the battle even begins. The other says, "This is tough, but I will find a way. I will overcome. I was built for this." And somehow solutions begin to show up. Doors begin to open. Strength begins to rise inside of them. What changed? Not the problem. The words, winners speak possibility where losers speak limitation. Every time you open your mouth, you are either reinforcing your fears or reinforcing your faith. If you constantly say, "I'm broke, I'm tired, I'm unlucky, I can't catch a break," life will serve you more reasons to justify those words. But if you choose to declare, "I am resourceful, I am strong, I am resilient, I was designed to win," you will begin to attract the opportunities, the people, and the strength to support those declarations. Your words are seeds, and every seed eventually produces a harvest. Look at daily life. Imagine a student preparing for an exam. If they walk around saying, "I'm going to fail, I'm not smart enough, I don't even know why I'm trying," their brain shuts down, their motivation disappears, and their fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Another student facing the same test says, "This is challenging, but I know I can handle it. I'm capable of learning this. I will succeed." Their brain stays open, their confidence fuels their memory, and even if they stumble, their words push them to get back up. Both studied, both prepared, but one spoke defeat while the other spoke victory. The language determined the outcome. This is why winners carefully guard their tongue. They don't just speak what they feel, they speak what they intend to manifest. You might feel fear, but you can still say, "I am courageous." You might feel weak, but you can still say, "I am strong." You might feel behind, but you can still say, "I am catching up, I am on time, I am moving forward." Your feelings will eventually align with the language you repeat. Look at successful leaders. They don't waste their breath blaming, complaining, or rehearsing problems. They speak in solutions. They gather their team, and instead of saying, "We're finished, this can't work," they say, "We will figure this out. We will find a way. This setback is a setup for something better." People follow them not just because of their vision, but because of the language they use. Their words build courage in others. They ignite faith. They shift atmosphere. That is the language of winners. Even in your relationships, language matters. A person who constantly says, "Nobody loves me, everyone leaves me, I'm always hurt," will live in the shadow of those declarations. But a person who says, "I attract love, I am worthy of respect, I deserve kindness," will slowly see those words take root. People respond to the confidence you carry in your language. Words not only shape how you see yourself, they shape how the world sees you. Think of a child learning to walk. If a parent keeps saying, "You can't do it, you're going to fall, you'll never manage this," the child becomes hesitant, fearful, and delayed. But when the parent says, "Come on, you can do it, take another step, you're strong, you've got this," the child moves faster, braver, bolder. That's the power of words. They build courage or they build chains. So let me challenge you, listen to the language you've been using lately. When you talk about your future, do you speak with hope or with fear? When you talk about your work, do you speak with passion or with dread? When you talk about yourself, do you lift yourself up or tear yourself down? Because the truth is, your life cannot rise higher than the language you consistently speak. Winners have mastered this principle. They know that words create worlds. They choose to talk in a way that aligns with victory, not defeat. They don't just describe their situation, they declare their destination. And because their words are different, their outcomes are different. While others are saying, "It can't be done," they are saying, "Watch me do it." While others are saying, "Nobody will listen to me," they are saying, "The right ears are waiting for my voice." While others are saying, "I don't have enough," they are saying, "I will multiply what I have until it is more than enough." This is the reason why some people carry an aura of strength wherever they go. It is not just their appearance or their resources. It is the invisible force of their language. You can sense their certainty because their words are rooted in conviction, and conviction has a sound. It cannot be faked for long. It comes from the consistent practice of speaking victory daily, no matter what the circumstances look like. Every time you declare, "I have already won," you are training your mind to believe it. You are training your actions to align with it, and you are training your environment to respond to it. You don't have to wait for the finish line to talk like a winner. You talk like a winner now, and the finish line eventually appears where your words have led you. My friend, let me leave you with words that must echo in your spirit long after this moment ends. Life will never hand you victory on a silver platter. It will test you, it will stretch you, it will dare you to quit. But inside of you, there is a voice that must be louder than the storm, louder than the critics, louder than the doubts. That voice must declare, I was not born to be average, I was born to win. I am not a mistake, I am not an accident, I am not a failure. I am a victor walking, a champion breathing, a conqueror standing tall. The truth is simple. If you keep acting like you've already won, the world has no choice but to treat you like a winner. If you walk with your head down, life will pass you by. But if you walk with your head high, even in the middle of setbacks, people will see something in you they cannot deny. The world respects conviction, not hesitation. The universe responds to courage, not fear. Doors swing open for those who knock with confidence, not for those who stand outside waiting for permission. I want you to remember something. Fear and faith both demand that you believe in something you cannot see. The difference is that fear believes in defeat, while faith believes in destiny. Which one will you choose? Every morning when you wake up, you are casting a vote for your future with the words you speak, with the thoughts you entertain, with the attitude you carry. Do not cast your vote for failure. Cast it for victory. Speak as if you are unstoppable. Think as if you are unlimited. Walk as if the ground beneath you is designed to carry your greatness. There will always be voices around you saying, it can't be done, you don't have enough, you're too late, you're too weak. But champions do not argue with doubters. Champions prove them wrong. Champions let results silence critics. Remember this, lions do not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. Eagles do not fly in flocks of pigeons. And winners do not wait for the crowd to clap before they rise. They clap for themselves, and then the crowd follows. The people who changed the world were not those who played it safe, not those who waited for everything to be perfect, but those who dared to act as if the victory was already theirs. They walked into empty rooms and spoke to them as if they were full. They looked at empty bank accounts and said, this will not always be so. They faced rejection and still said, I am chosen. They lost battles, but still declared, I will not lose the war. That is the spirit you must carry if you are going to live at the level you were created for. So the next time fear tries to tell you that you are not enough, you stand tall and reply, I am more than enough. When failure whispers that your story is over, you declare, this is only the beginning. When life knocks you down, you rise and announce, I rise not once, not twice, but every time until I win. Because the truth is, a winner is not the one who never falls. A winner is the one who refuses to stay down. Say to yourself every day, I am not waiting for victory. I bring victory. I am not chasing success. Success is chasing me. I am not begging for opportunities. Opportunities are looking for me. I am not hoping to be chosen. I am already chosen. When you live with that mindset, mountains move, barriers crumble, and possibilities multiply. Never forget, the greatest power you have is not in your muscles, not in your money, not in your connections. The greatest power you have is in your belief and the language that flows from that belief. If you can master your mind, if you can guard your words, if you can carry an attitude of victory, nothing on this earth can stop you. You will walk into rooms where others are intimidated and stand tall. You will face challenges that made others quit and keep moving. You will see doors open that seemed locked for everyone else. This is your moment to rise, not tomorrow, not next year, but now. Act like you've already won and watch what happens. Speak like a champion, move like a conqueror, think like a victor. Because in the end, life does not give you what you wish for. Life gives you what you walk for, what you fight for, what you declare with conviction. The crown is not waiting for the fearful. It is waiting for the fearless. The prize is not waiting for the hesitant. It is waiting for the bold. And destiny is not waiting for those who ask permission. It is waiting for those who step forward and claim it as already theirs.